Good morning, Laguna Woods. Hey, thanks for tuning in. It's Friday. That means it's Fun Friday, and we're going to have fun. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's sports. And you say, oh, I'm not sure I'm into sports. Well, that's okay. Stay tuned in because Ron Serrato is our wonderful guest, and he's going to have some interesting stories for us. We're going to talk about that. You say, well, is sports in the Bible? Well, yes, because from the very first verse it says, in the big inning. I know. All right. Big inning is a sports thing. If you don't know, baseball has innings. Anyway. So, Ron, hopefully you have a better verse for us or something.
I do.
Okay.
And being in ministry and then serving too as a team chaplain for 21 years here in Los Angeles and Anaheim. This has always been mine, and this is just as the Lord just finished having supper with the disciples. He said the third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, do you love me? And he said to him, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said to him, tend my sheep.
That is so awesome. I love that. What is it about that? Because there's lots in that.
Yes, there is. There's a lot.
What hits home most for you?
Is that God called me back in 1979 to serve. And probably like so many, how can I serve you, God? I don't have Bible knowledge, theology. I don't even know John 3:16 yet. So it's like, but God was just so humble, and he knew what he was doing as he is God. And
so he got you involved with sports and sports teams.
Sports teams.
How'd that ever happen?
Well, I was attending.
Briefly.
Yeah, I was attending the church there in Long Beach, Grace Brethren Church, and the pastor approached me. At the time, we had the team chaplain to the Dodgers and Angels there, John Warehouse, great mentor.
He was a baseball.
Yes, he was third baseman for the Dodgers, and so after years, he retired or in that, and then he went into the ministry, and because he knew the teams and the coaches, he approached him about having chapel, and he was attending the church, and I had started a sports ministry there at the church and a prison ministry, going into Terminal Island and Chino Prison, playing sports, sharing, doing Bible studies and such. And then from that, I was approached by him wanting me to come on to his ministry and help him develop it.
So that was with Dodgers and Angels.
Angels. And I was going to be doing the visiting teams that came into Dodger and Angels Stadium.
Oh.
So I would every Sunday be there at either one of the ballparks, who was every own town. And then as that happened, then more teams came into town. The Raiders came. And we were approached to do chapel services for them.
Because that's right. For a while, they were the Los Angeles Raiders.
Right.
And that
they
was
were the Oakland, and then they came to Los Angeles, became the Los Angeles Raiders.
So those were your years with them.
With them, and then the Clippers came into town, and I was asked to do service for them, and then also the LA Express, the mighty Steve Young and them that came into town. Started chapel with them, and then the Ducks came into town, and I was asked to support the Ducks, and all of that is doing chapel is what a pastor does, but I'm traveling with them, and I'm doing one-on-one counseling, I'm doing marriages, I'm providing, we do home Bible studies, team studies.
So in general, or is it just like the general population, would you say? So you get let's just take the Raiders. For instance, are they interested in spiritual things? Do they? And maybe the word "they" is too big.
Yeah,
is it individuals or is it the whole team?
That is really a question I'm always asked when they go, "Who are your team that you serve as chaplain?" And I go, "The LA Raiders." Oh, they need it. They are bad. They just
they're just people.
But something. Two stories. I received a call from the New York Giants chaplain and one other team, the chaplain. They go, "What are you doing over there?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "What's going on with the Raiders?" And I'm thinking, they probably went in there and they tore the place apart, and in that at chapel service as they were attending. And he goes, "There are always 21 to 23 Raider players here with the head coach at Chapel.
Wow. So
And
when they go to New York,
they
that's
go to
what
New
he's
York.
saying.
Yes. Yes. When they're traveling,
He was shocked so many came.
yes. And this is something that I gave the players. If they came to 3 chapels services, a Bible study, one of our prayer group, what, I would give them a Bible and we had the
That
Raider
says
logo.
Oakland Raiders if you can't
Yeah.
see it.
And then I would put their number and their name, and they would come. I mean, I had some that would offer me like $2,000 just to get one. I said, it's free, just show up. So they would come. But the other thing that was impressive is we did studies in that, and the chapel would go, when I said let's go to John, they weren't in Deuteronomy. They were right at the book of John.
Wow.
And so that was a blessing to know that they were being fed, and they were really. And from that, there are quite a few players now that I contact that are involved in ministry. They're either pastors or some sort of leader at their churches.
So would you say in those days, Ron, was it the starters? Would they come? I mean, was
it'd
it
be-
famous people or?
You had, there'd be, Howie Long came, Lyle Zato, Hostetler, quarterback,
Oh, I love.
Jay
Yeah.
Schrader, all of them. They were starters and second string, but they were all
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They were all there at chapel, and they'd be listening tenderly and writing notes and such. And it was just a great time with them.
That
And the other
really.
teams were the same way that I provided service for. And they all got Bibles, but they got their logo on the Bible.
Yeah.
And it's right. I just had a call not too long ago where one player asked if I could get another Bible for a friend of his that was dying. He goes, I want to share the word and I want to give him a Bible that. And I said, yeah. So it's unbelievable how many Raider players really were spiritually in their background. So, and they were there.
That is so amazing that you had that privilege, and you were. Would you just say were you a lay person?
I was just, I was lay and then I got ordained doing it. But I also had a job with AT&T. I was with AT&T, but I don't know how God worked it, but he worked it where I always had the time, and then I traveled with the teams as well, too. So, but God just worked it out that I could serve him. And when he called me, I just said, Lord, I don't know how to do this. You're going to have to show me. And I really mean that spiritual. I've heard people say God spoke to them. I mean, I really felt it.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
day that just turned my life around.
We always think the angels are more spiritual because they have the name angels.
Yeah, the halo's not working.
It
I
didn't
guess.
mean
I don't
anything.
know.
They weren't necessarily the most,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there were some good folks
There were a lot of
there,
good.
too.
There were quite a few of the Angels. John Warehouse worked with them, and the Dodgers, and they had great chapel service. Great, gentlemen attending that. It was really blessed, and it was a time that we were just starting, and it was all new. And back then, being a
Wow.
Christian was weak, and you don't have chapel services and that. But the players were starting to step out, and say, "No, we want it." And from that, it's grown to what it is now, where you have you have associations now for all of football, baseball, basketball. It is just growing.
Well, the Lord is alive, and he reaches those that are down and out, but he also reaches those who are successful in this life.
Yes.
And the body of Christ is made up of both. And so I know Pujols, Pujols is now attends Saddleback and
Uh-huh.
a strong believer on the current team, but I
Yes,
don't know.
he's been attending chapel there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of them that.
It's really encouraging to us. And so, Ron, thank you for being on. We're
Well,
going to
thank
have
you.
to have you on again and delve deeper into this.
Oh,
We
there's
all
so much
enjoy
more.
it. I don't know if you know this, but so you were giving people Bibles for coming. D.L. Moody started Sunday school movement back in the mid-1800s by giving children 1 penny to attend Sunday school. So you're in good company.
Yeah, great company.
So Laguna Woods, thank you for tuning in. It's the beginning of a new year. I hope you spend it with us all year at 7:30 every morning. See you then.